Winter is almost here, so you might have the perfect excuse to curl up with a nice, good book. Only on CBS Mornings, Amazon Books editorial director Sarah Gelman is joining us right now to share their picks for best books of 2024. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so this is a list that you and your team debate. How fierce does it get?
It got pretty fierce this year, I'm gonna say. Yeah, we were locked. We had to break for lunch.
Were blows exchanged?
There were verbal blows exchanged, and then we all hugged at the end. But we come up with a top 100 list, and really the top 20 gets very contentious. And this year, the top 5 was so tough. We agreed on number 1, and we couldn't agree on the slots from 2 to 5.
Okay,
all
let's hear it. Number one.
So
Let's hear
number one book
Yes.
is called The Boys of Riverside by Thomas Fuller. This is a nonfiction book, and I dare you to not fall in love with this story. This is Friday Night Lights meets The Boys on the Boat. It is just a feel-good book that we all need. It's the true story
Well, it
of...
says the second line, a deaf football team and a quest for glory.
It's a true story about an all-deaf high school football team and basically their rise from underdog to champion. And they really use their deafness not as a deficit, but as a superpower on and off the field. And I'm just gonna say, whether you like football or not, and I'm sorry, I'm not a big football person, you will love this story. It's about grit and perseverance and brotherhood. And I mentioned, we all wanted this book for number 1.
Oh, and a true story.
It's so great.
Okay.
What about number 2?
Number 2 is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So this is our pick for the novel of the year. And this is one of my personal favorites. I love this book. I've been recommending it to tons of people. And one of the things that we've seen this year is genre bending, meaning like a book isn't just a romance or a mystery. And Liz Moore does this so well in this book. It's a mystery, it's family drama, it's historical fiction, and it has themes of classism and racism. It's all wrapped up in the story that you just cannot put down. So if you read one novel this year or you give one novel,
Is it set in current times when you say?
No, it's actually set between 2 time frames, so the early 1960s and 1975.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so Taking Home the Bronze, a book by Percival Everett.
Yes, so this
whose
is-
previous work inspired the movie American Fiction.
Yes, I mean, he's definitely having a
Like that
moment right
movie,
now.
yeah.
This is James, so it is a retelling of the story Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, told from the perspective of the enslaved Jim. And when Jim or James find out that he's going to be sold off into slavery, and he's going to be separated from his family, he runs away, teams up with Huck Finn, and they have this adventure down the Mississippi. So he retells this classic, and in that, he's really creating a new classic in and of itself. And we think best of the year for sure, but also this is one of the best books of the decade.
Yeah, in fourth place, you said a book that made you cry. It's got to be a very powerful book when you're reading and written words move you to tears.
Oh my gosh, I'm not a crier, and I wept during this book. This is The Women by Kristen Hanna. So she's so good at these well-researched, like gutting historical fiction books, and she takes on in this book, so it's novel, but it is about the women that served in the Vietnam War as combat nurses. And when I studied the Vietnam War, I didn't know that women served. And it was only 30 years ago that they erected the Women's Vietnam Memorial on the National Mall.
They didn't teach us that in school,
No, and the story is gutting.
And then in 5th place, The Small and the Mighty.
The Small and the Mighty. It is, I'm going to try to get the subtitle, 12 Unsung Heroes Who Changed the Course of History from the Founding to the Civil Rights Movement. How'd I do? So this is...
Yeah, you did it.
This is a dose of inspiration. Sharon McMahon is a former history teacher. She's an Instagram star. She's a podcast host. And she has a knack for making history so interesting. So this is
I love the cover
12
of this book.
unsung heroes,
like
people
that.
you have not read about before. Everyone from a woman who gave her life for the suffrage movement to a young girl who wouldn't give up her seat on the bus, and her name is not Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
This is a history I wish I'd been taught in school. It is so fun to read. And if you feel like your voice doesn't make a difference, this is the book you need to pick up.
From unsung to a woman we sing the praises of, Sarah Gelman, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I always marvel how she does this.
I don't know how I did that subtitle. That was stressful for me.
Wow, that's right. All right, you can check out our Instagram page later. Sarah will tell us about Amazon's best children's books of 2024.